A Taste of Juneteenth arrives this weekend in Southside Chattanooga, a few days before next week's holiday. The Bethlehem Center, the faith-based nonprofit serving youth and families in the Alton Park neighborhood, hosts its annual Southside Juneteenth Jubilee on Saturday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. at 200 West 38th Street. Young storytellers at the Jubilee will share the history of Juneteenth, which commemorates the emancipation of African Americans and the end of slavery after the Civil War. Reginald Smith II is the center's executive director.
Reggie, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us more about the Southside Jubilee this Saturday.
The Bethlehem Center Southside Jubilee is our fifth year producing an event that really is all about getting family and friends and community together to celebrate Juneteenth. So this year we have a really amazing lineup. This year we still have a host of community organizations that are going to come out and provide information about what's going on around the great city of Chattanooga. We also still have a huge abundance of vendors this year who are going to be out there selling their various different items and wares. One of the beautiful parts of this event is always the food. So we're going to have some significant food trucks. We're going to have some community members who are making various different items to sell food-wise. And so it's really just an opportunity to celebrate Juneteenth around family and friends while eating and having a good time doing it.
How has this changed over the years?
Every year we try to add something new to the event. This year, we are blessed to have some really significant sponsors, CHI Memorial Foundation, Blue Cross Blue Shield, TVFCU, as well as some local churches. What's beautiful about the sponsors this year is they provided funding to allow us to give the community some little Beth bucks that they can actually use to purchase items. So it's no longer, hey, come out and spend your money, but also we allow the money that has been given to the community to go back and be recirculated in the community to really truly have a significant economic impact. They've supported the Bethlehem Center, who in turn that over to the community at large, who in turn reinvest those funds into community businesses. And so I think this is a really good opportunity to utilize Juneteenth as an opportunity to kind of promote a little bit of economic prosperity amongst the community.
And talk more about the work these days of the Bethlehem Center.
The Bethlehem Center has been around for about 105 years, supporting the community through education, leadership, and spiritual development. The beautiful part of the work that we do is that we do that in a come as you are type of a mentality. And we look at making sure that we can support the community through our Read to Lead Academy. So on the academic side for our young children, we support them through a wonderful after school program. Naturally, it's summertime right now, so my building is filled with beautiful faces experiencing a wonderful after school program. But we recognize we're not going to be successful working with children if we're also not supporting the adults. So we have a very robust resource access department. If people come in and say, I'm housing insecure or food insecure, we have a food pantry to support them. We have case managers on site who work with them directly to address whatever issues they are facing. We have a wonderful farm on site as well. The farm that we have has been growing some really significant quantities of food that we give directly to the community. So if you want fresh cantaloupe, if you want fresh strawberries, or even everything down from green beans to corn to tomatoes, we are definitely experimenting with some cool things and teaching children during the process.
How have you been thinking about Juneteenth as we near this Jubilee and then the holiday next week? And what have you heard from others in the community?
We started this Juneteenth event in 2021, same year that it actually became a national holiday. And I know growing up as a young man in Memphis, it was always something that was instilled in me as well as something celebrated by my family. And so for the Bethlehem Center, we've been thinking along the lines of how do we make this more of an educational point to teach people about Juneteenth. So we're blessed this year as part of another offering that we're offering is that we have young people telling the history, telling the story, not in a, oh, here's the dark days of America's past, but more of a, hey, here's something to be celebrated. This is what happened. We celebrate this event because Union soldiers walked into Galveston, Texas and announced the Emancipation Proclamation. We also are going into deeper opportunities to explain little nuancy things that are prevalent within the African American or Black culture that people never really thought about. We're blessed to have a sponsor this year who's providing hibiscus tea. Most people don't know the history of hibiscus tea and the African American experience. And so we're able to provide it to the community while also teaching the historical roots of that.
Give us a little sampling of that lesson.
So historically, hibiscus is found in West Africa. Enslaved Africans brought that to the shores of America. So in the Caribbean and in West Africa, it goes by a different name, but that is the root of something that people typically see or would say was a stereotype in the African American community. If you ask certain people what their favorite Kool-Aid color would be, they would say, oh, I like red Kool-Aid, right? Well, why is that? Well, historically, African Americans in this country grew up drinking hibiscus tea. And so we have young people who are going to explain that to the community on Saturday. And this is really, really good to really talk about. Sometimes stereotypes are rooted in little pieces of nuggets of history that may have been turned into something negative over the years, but actually started out as something really beautiful. But unless we keep that history alive, unless we tell people what the truth of the matter is, how would they know? And so by us being able to teach young people and to have our young people out there teaching the history of Juneteenth, teaching the history of the Juneteenth flag. Where did the flag come from? Why did the flag exist? Why are the colors of the Juneteenth flag red, white, and blue? Well, we're Americans too. Right. So having children do that, opposed to having me up there saying, well, this is how things should be, is a really good pivotal moment because nobody expects the children to be teaching the adults. And so a little bit of things that we like to do at the Bethlehem Center.
And for people who want to check out the Southside Jubilee this Saturday at the Bethlehem Center and everything happening at the center year round, where can they go online?
You can go to thebeth.org to learn about everything that is taking place at the Bethlehem Center, whether it is our resource access programming or our Read to Lead Academy, many of the things that we're doing around food and security, thebeth.org. And specifically about the Juneteenth event, thebeth.org/Juneteenth Jubilee.
All right, Reggie, thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.